You might feel overwhelmed with what I am about to share, but please don't yet. Watch the video before you decide, okay, I don't want to do this. Today is June 1st, 2025, and this is very recent news, and I'm going to play just a little bit of it. I'll try to link this in the description.
If you are an Apple, Google, or Facebook user, you are going to want to change your login passwords immediately, as we're hearing that there has been a major breach and exposure of people's data across the nation.
Quickly, before we let you go, there is a hack going on right now. 184 million passwords stolen. It's being called the cyber criminal's dream. Why is this hack in particular so important, so vital, so newsworthy? What companies were hacked? What do we need to know?
In there, I would include Coinbase or any crypto exchange that you might be on, Gmail, which is YouTube. A lot of people use Gmail. Secondarily, it would be your financial institutions. Definitely, he talks about government. So, for instance, Social Security, Medicare. Really, I would say just everything. We love our phones, don't we? We do everything on them. Lots of us do many social media, right? X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, Telegram, Discord, and so on and so on. And of course, we're always on the go, so we do our banking on our phones. And some of us still use email. We do that on our phone as well. Some of us are more security conscious and are a little bit more sophisticated, and so we know that whether we are on our phone or on a computer, we have enabled for text message two-factor authentication, which means you already know that you had to establish a username and a password, and once you're in an approved account, there's a security area, and you can enable two-factor authentication, which means when you're using your account online, whatever that is, it will send you a code to your phone. You take a look at it in a text message and you type in the code. Some time ago, our mobile phone providers, right? T-Mobile, AT&T, whatever phone provider that you happen to use, decided they were going to do us a favor. And if we lose our phone, we just call a customer service and we tell them we've lost our phone, and they can remotely and say that we bought a new phone, right? We have our new phone in hand, and they walk us through on the phone by the steps to transfer from using the old phone to our new phone, and that's essentially SIM swapping. Well, now, what no one told us, and most people don't really think about it because we're all about convenience, right? They didn't tell us that the more we got hooked into and integrated and involved with a digital world, the easier it would be for scammers to take advantage of us. So, in our phone providers wanting to make life easier for us, they actually created an entryway for just another entryway of the many that exist already for a scammer to take advantage. And what happens is someone somehow obtains your personal information. There are many ways to do that. I'm not going to get into that. Eventually, when they have enough information about yourself, they call up your phone provider and they pretend to be you. And they convince, through social engineering, they convince the customer service person to go ahead and do the SIM swap because they, which, you, lost your phone and you have another phone. So what happens after a SIM swap scam? Your phone, which is your real phone, you will find out you no longer have service. Now the scammer has service as if that person was you with your phone. So a SIM swap will deactivate your phone and the attacker will receive your calls and text on their device. And so this means that they can start accessing your account because most online accounts, they'll say forgot username, forgot password. Um, it's not like straightforward. It might take them some more work to do this, but the point of all I'm trying to say is they are able to receive the SMS text code that normally you would receive to log into your account. And so, and while not immediately, it begins to defeat this extra security step that you added to your account. So, in this cat and mouse game, mobile phone service providers got a little smarter and they added protections. And what you would have to do is log in online to your phone provider account like T-Mobile, AT&T, or what have you, and hunt around through there where they offer you protection against SIM swap. Unfortunately, this quote protection unquote is actually kind of lame because really it's just a flag in your account so that when someone calls customer service, they will, look at your account, verify that it's you, but of course you've already been compromised, so there's someone acting as you. And then the customer service representative is supposed to notice, oh, wow, there's a flag here. They cannot ask me for a SIM swap. I'm not allowed to do that. The problem is that scammers work at what they want to do from multiple angles, right? So they don't just pretend to be you. They find out what they can about actual customer service employees at various companies, and they try to bribe them so that they will ignore the supposed account protections and go ahead and do the SIM swap. So the larger point here in all of this is that using or relying on SMS two-factor authentication is dead and you need to find another way. The next phase in the security cat and mouse game is to use a time-based code. This is something that exists in your phone. It is not a code that is sent from your online account provider to your phone. It's not SMS. I'm talking about Google's Authenticator. More and more online accounts have that as a better option than continuing to use SMS text message codes. However, let's quickly create a list of information that you've been having to keep track of. Count for yourself how many different banking, exchanges, financial, insurance, government, social media, email, whatever. Count all of those different accounts that you have. And if you are going to be more secure, you would have a different password for every account. Can you imagine keeping track of so many different passwords? I know most people don't do that because it's hard, it's difficult. I get it. However, if we've already established that scammers are getting better at this and you're at risk, if you do have different passwords, one for each account, then you lower your risk, because just because they got into one account doesn't mean they can get into another account. Also, if you have been aware of this latest breach, massive breach, and you've gone ahead and changed your accounts, now you have to worry about, am I going to forget my new passwords because I was so used to my old password? Finally, let's say that you do use the Google Authenticator that's working inside your phone. What if you lose your phone? What if your phone stops working? So hopefully you knew to somehow keep track of the basic data either provided by Google Authenticator or by the online account when you started setting up your 2FA authenticator. They gave you some information. You have to keep track of that. What if your dog or your pet tears up the booklet or papers that you had saved your information? You had all your account usernames, passwords, and so on logged in a booklet, and somebody dumped water on it and it's a mess. And how do you save your images that the authenticator exports for you? Like, what do you do with this image? Yeah, it's showing as a picture on your phone, but how do you transfer that to a piece of paper? While I didn't really discuss this much, I hope you gathered from this video that your computer is a lot safer than your phone. First, you typically go about your day with your mobile phone, your cell phone. You typically may not do that as much with your computer. And I'm talking about a home computer, not like if you're a student, you take your laptop places. It's easier to lose your phone than your home computer. You're more at risk at losing phone service because of hacks like the SIM swap than you are of losing internet service, and for many other reasons. This video is part one, and it was an attempt to motivate you to do better for your online security. Please do not find out the hard way when you have lost access to accounts and even funds that we no longer live in a world where we can be lazy. Part two is going to suggest what you see here, ePass XC. And I'm not saying not to use Google Authenticator. You can keep that on your phone, but also KeePass XC for the many reasons that we've discussed because of all of the information that you have to save away.